Some of the best marketing ROI I've ever received didn't come from content. It came from real connection, real proximity, real people, real connections. Welcome to Unearth with Shelly Hughes. I'm Shelly Hughes. Today we're going to talk about how to market like a modern CEO. In this podcast, we really discuss the good, the bad, and the ugly of business. We talk about the wins, the losses, and especially lessons learned about growing a profitable, passionate brand. From the beginning, I knew the kind of clients I wanted did not make decisions based on a social media post that they saw. Every business is different, but for the super high ticket items, for the partnership-like connection, I knew that a social media post wasn't going to sway someone one way or another. And so you can't market like everyone else if you're trying to market yourself like a modern CEO. And when you think about modern CEO, you think about utilizing the most recent amazing tech out there. And that's not the case. It's actually going backwards and really thinking about what actually makes a difference in your audience's mind instead of just chasing the next best thing, chasing what you're seeing, chasing the trends that you're seeing. Yes, content scales, but proximity is really what converts. And so I want to talk about that a little bit today. It's spending time on presence and not just promotion. So you're not here to go viral. You're not here to amplify your visibility. You're here to connect to the right people. Forever, of course, we were a member of the Chamber of Commerce. We went to networking events. But what I found was we were part of many different networking groups. I was splattering myself throughout all of them. And essentially, because we had so many, we had one of the lower membership tiers across all these different boards. I said, look, we're going to go deep, not broad. So what I did is I got us a higher level membership of just the Greater Philadelphia Chamber of Commerce. And what they did was it unlocked smaller, more high quality rooms that I could really engage in. And, when we think about, content and, in real life situations, in real life is always going to be better, but the content is still important because the content I see is where you really nurture. You're continually showing up. You're continually coming to the front of people's minds, when you post stuff all the time. And so it's how I see it is bring in that connection and have that proximity in a more intimate space. Yes, I do think there's a time and a space for those big networking events, right? But it's not to make that first connection. That hour or so before the big networking event starts or the big panel or whatever it is, it's great, but people are just tossing out their business cards and no one's really paying attention. So what I wanted to do was spend time on that intimate presence. So we increased our membership tier to the Chamber of Commerce, and we were able to be part of conversations that really moved the needle for the city of Philadelphia and beyond. And what that does is it then makes them want to follow you on social media and engage because you already had a 15, 25-minute conversation with them instead of that actually went deep, right? Instead of broad. So that's where kind of you can push it over to content, right? But ROI really lives in intimacy, not scale. And especially as a small business, like that's something I really recommend focusing on. But how to network like a modern CEO? How do I approach these events? I always thinking about whether you're hosting an event or going to an event, typically we're supporting clients in hosting their own events, whether it's a PR initiative or something like that. But I always see it as there's a pre-event experience, a during event experience, and a post-event experience. And if I'm going to a really intentional event, I think of it in kind of the same way. So first, it's kind of building momentum before the event. You don't want to just show up to the event like I used to, right? So behind the scenes, we have an ops team that really creates the guest list cheat sheet. It gives me names, it gives me LinkedIn links, it gives me faces, it gives me press hits, and specifically, it's aligning your entire team of the kind of person that you really want to connect with. And here's the thing, I don't go to these networking events because I think I'm going to find our next client. Typically what happens is I make an amazing connection, and I'll go through some of the things that I do, right? And that connection turns into one of our best referral sources that we've ever had, right? It's just caring about the other people, asking, what can I do for you? How can I help you? And a lot of people, and I'll get to that in a second, but it's just giving as much as you can. You know, I have the 5 giving rule. I try to give 5 times before I ask for something. And that really goes into networking like a modern CEO. So my entire team is aligned on what is our goal for these events? Who are we trying to reach out to? Or who are we trying to connect with? And what is that kind of persona? And so what my ops team does is they give me this guest list cheat sheet. And here's the thing, it's not authentic. It's strategic. It is effective. And most importantly, it's thoughtful. Because whenever I go in there, I'm not thinking, how can this person help me the most? It's, this person looks really interesting. I want to get to know them. I want to understand what makes them tick. I want to understand what they're really excited about. And it's not chasing clients. You're just prioritizing impact for this. Again, I don't expect this cheat sheet. They're not necessarily ideal clients. I'd probably not want a lot of them to be our clients, but they're people that we recognize will be in the room that I believe will make, I honestly, genuinely just want to talk to them because I'm interested in what they have going on. Then you kind of layer in the strategy. And this is kind of while you're there. It's figuring out personally how you show up to these events, whether they're panels, VIP events, whether you're attending or you're speaking, right? How are you showing up? You're showing up with intentionality. I see all the time people at networking events trying to talk to every single person in the room, right? They're handing out business cards like it's confetti. And all of a sudden I have this business card on my desk. I'm like, where did I get this business card from? I don't even know who this is, right? So that's kind of spray tactic-y, right? Don't just scatter it. And while you're there, always think about how you can be giving value. And I'm not spraying out like, how can I give value? Oh, here's the value I can give. It has to do with your marketing. No, it's how can I help? How can I make them feel like they're going to have a really great day that day? And honestly, it's following up with heart, right? The system that we have is I capture key conversations that I've had that day that I really enjoyed. I hand it off to operations and then they help me draft follow-ups. And it's very specific about something that we talked about, right? So it's not just like, hey, we met at the event yesterday, we should talk. It's, hey, I love what you mentioned. I love what we talked about when you said, you're working on this new product launch. I would love to see how, I can support you even from just a who can I introduce you to type of level. And here's the thing about that. When you are creating that connection in person, you're not just trying to make a good first impression. You are listening 90% of the time, talking 10% of the time. You are asking better questions. I always ask like, hey, what are some things you're excited about this year? Or what brings you here today? What made you want to get up and drive into the city or wherever we are to come here? If you ask questions like, what are you excited about? It kind of opens up the doors to understanding what they value. And that can be a really exciting thing and really opportunities to support them. Like, oh, you're excited about this product launch going on? I know a manufacturer that would be great for that. Let me get you their number, right? And I'm not asking for anything yet. I'm just trying to give. I'm trying to collect as much information I can so I can give as much value as I can, because they're going to be like, oh, Shelly's here. She cares for us. Maybe we'll help her out in the future. So when I do hand off those connection moments over to operations, they help me draft follow-ups. I do try to send this out in 24 hours, but reality check typically doesn't happen. So what I've actually been doing is on the way home from every event, I send a voice memo to our director of ops and just go through all the people that I talk to and voice memo it. So I don't have to get back to my desk, type out this whole thing, because by the time I get back to my desk, I'm already probably on the next thing. So that's been really helpful to do a voice memo, and take pictures of the business cards that I've collected, because the quicker the follow-up, really, I believe, the more effective the entire events and interaction is going to be. And here's the thing at the event too, you want people to feel seen. You want to hype them up. You want them, everyone feels like, oh, I'm at this networking event. I'm trying to, either my boss sent me here or whatever. It's adding value. It's hyping them up. It's it's having someone else excited about what they're working on, not just them. So when you're thinking about marketing yourself and networking like a CEO, you're not just networking, you're shaping your brand truly in real time. You don't need more followers. You need more alignment of people who understand where you're coming from and that you are here to just give. Show up, ask better questions, play the long game in real life, not the short, quickie ones. And something that we have to work on really is, what we do work on is we track our ROI and we track our clients back to its source. So we might have one of our best clients might be from a connection, a referral from a connection we made 2 years ago at some random networking event, and it's now just paying off, and now they're our biggest client. So it's so hard to be patient like that, and it's so hard to prioritize when you don't see that instant gratification. But if you're able to track it and you're able to kind of connect those two, you'll see the benefit in really showing up and investing a little bit more into these Chamber of Commerce events. And just understand, where do your people hang out? Do they hang out at women's networking events? Do they hang out at happy hour networking events? Do they hang out at Chamber of Commerce? Do they hang out at trade shows, right? Do you want to try to get into a VIP room at a trade show, right? Is that where they hang out? So it's identifying that first. And again, it might not be your ideal client. It might be an amazing referrals source, or it might be a vendor, or it might be whatever piece of your business you're trying to build. Figure out where they hang out, where they spend their time, both online and offline, and make sure you hit them in both those places, because the in-person is going to be a great way to build that really quick trust that online will take a lot longer to do and a lot more vanity metrics to do, and then nurture them over on social media. That's the best way to go. So I hope this was helpful. I truly believe that proximity, real connection is a way to build your business more so than just spouting out content. If you like this episode, please give us a follow. It really helps us understand what you guys like, what you don't like, and so we can make this show the best possible. And we'll see you next week.